Howdy folks, I'm still Silver Spotted Skipper, sweetly sleeping in shady spots.
I'm Amber.
And here are more shady spots for us to sleep away in. We can do it because we're butterflies and we can nap all day and drink nectar and honey and all that kind of stuff. Probably not honey because that would probably anger the bees and then you would be a butterfly no more, but you get the point. Let's get started. Oh, and folks, we have a live stream later on today. For more information, please see the end of the video. Let's get started. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Confronting My Younger Sister After I Caught Her Bullying Our Paralyzed Neighbor? Okay, I'm a 24-year-old female and I really need some perspective here because I'm still shaken up about what happened last night. I live in a quiet neighborhood and we've always been close with our neighbors, especially Miss Simmons, who is in her late 60s. She's been paralyzed from waist down for about 10 years now after a car accident. I help her out a lot, whether it's groceries or just chatting when she's feeling lonely. She's honestly one of the sweetest people I know, and we're like family at this point in time. Now my younger sister, Emma, 18, and I have never really been super close. She's always been a bit, I don't know, difficult. But this, I was not prepared for what happened. So last night, I went to visit Miss Simmons after work. I figured that I would help her out with some stuff and catch up. I wasn't planning to stay long, but when I approached her house, I noticed something strange. Emma was standing outside in the yard of Miss Simmons' house, and I could hear her laughing. At first, I didn't think much of it, but then I heard her voice mocking Miss Simmons, like really mocking her. I didn't know what to think at first. I just kind of froze and listened. I heard Emma making fun of how Miss Simmons struggles to move around in her chair. She was doing ridiculous impressions, and I could see Miss Simmons, who was sitting nearby, was trying to ignore it, but clearly wasn't comfortable. I could see it in her face, but I was just in complete shock. I had no idea my sister could be so cruel. I thought that I was hearing things, but no, it was real. I just lost it. I stormed over to them, and I told Emma to stop. I don't even know what I said, but I was furious. I was like, what is wrong with you? This is disgusting. She's been nothing but kind to us, and you're standing here making fun of her? I was trying not to yell, but I was so mad. Emma didn't get it. She rolled her eyes and was like, oh, calm down. It's only a joke. She'll be fine. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I told her that there was nothing funny about making fun of someone who can't walk. I told her, grow up. And she started shouting back, saying that I was overreacting and that Miss Simmons probably didn't care anyways. She was like, she's just an old lady in a chair, who cares? At that point, I completely snapped. I told Emma that she needed to leave and that I was done talking to her about this. She got super defensive and stormed off, telling me that I ruined everything and that I was being dramatic. I was still so angry, but I went back to Miss Simmons and apologized. She was sitting there trying not to let it bother her, but I could tell that she was upset. I stayed with her for a little while to make sure that she was okay. Now Emma is refusing to talk to me. She is telling our parents that I overreacted and I ruined her fun, and that I'm acting like a ridiculous person. Our parents are kind of on our side, saying that I should have handled it better, but they also don't really know the full story of what happened here. So I'm just so angry with Emma that she would be rude to someone who's done nothing but be kind to us. I'm wondering if I took things too far. Should I have just let this slide? I honestly don't think that I could have, but I'm second guessing everything right now. So am I the jerk for confronting my sister for bullying our paralyzed neighbor? Alright folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk, and talk to your parents ASAP. Make sure they know the full extent of what your sister did, because no person worth their salt is going to support her over that.
Yeah.
I mean, what she did would have been cruel if she said those things behind Miss Simmons' back, but to say it with her right there, like she's not a person, like just how dehumanizing the sister was behaving is absolutely despicable.
Well, even her words after making fun of Miss Simmons were pretty dehumanizing. She's like, she's just an old lady. She's just blah, blah, blah. And that's not a very nice way to approach people. I mean, Miss Simmons is a human being and she has emotions and feelings, and to just sit there and make fun of her and mock her and treat her like she's some, just can't even understand or, comprehend what she's saying is just rude.
Well, that too, like she uses a wheelchair. That doesn't mean that not that you should say this with people with cognitive impairments either. Like that's a horrible thing to do no matter what, but acting like the fact that she's older and uses a wheelchair makes her completely incapable and like less human. Like you can just talk down and demean her because reasons, like it's despicable.
Yeah, it truly is despicable. And I mean, Like you said, I think that OP's next course of action here is actually inform the parents of what really went down. And if the parents still stand by their side, then I mean, maybe it's time to get new family.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, this is a pretty terrible thing for people to justify or rationalize.
Yeah, I don't see how anyone could.
But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Pennsylvania Duchess says, can I ask you why you haven't told your parents the whole story yet? There's no universe where your sister, saying what she said, should have your parents on her side. And OP replies, I told them afterwards what had happened, and they still insisted that I could have handled it differently. They're also messed up. I mean, that's rough, right? I mean, I guess they're not justifying her actions, the sister's actions, but they are saying like, oh, OP, you could have handled this differently. But I think OP handled it in the perfect way.
Yeah, exactly. Like, sister needed to be gotten out of there and she needed to be told off, and what she did is absolutely unacceptable. Like, you don't get to bully people and just like, oh, please, sister, don't bully people. It's not nice. Like, she's not 5 years old. She's a full-grown adult, 18 years old. She can understand you don't bully people.
And Candid Process 1831 says, your sister needs to grow up. She's such a jerk for making fun of someone in a wheelchair. I'm sorry, but your parents are messed up. You're not the jerk. And OP replies, it was really messed up what she did, and I would never have imagined that she was capable of something like this. I just had to say something. It was disgusting. And Wind and Waystone says, if you want to teach her a lesson on the power of bullying, casually congratulate her in front of her friends on going a week without pooping in your bed. And Jazz Like Grand 7227 says, and then respond with, oh, calm down, it's a joke, when she gets upset. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Walking Out of a Family Dinner After My Parents Insulted My Thai Wife? My wife, Fa, a 32-year-old female, is from Thailand. We met while she was studying in the US, fell in love, and got married 5 years ago. She's an amazing woman, kind, hardworking, and incredibly smart. Unfortunately, my parents have never fully accepted her. From the beginning, they made offhand comments about her being a gold digger and only marrying me for a green card. No matter how many times I told them otherwise, they held onto this ignorant assumption. It doesn't matter that Fa has a successful career, makes her own money, she makes more than me by the way, and has never asked me for a dime, because in their eyes, she's one of those foreign women who trap American men. Well, last weekend we had a dinner at my parents' house. At first, things were civil, but then my dad smirked and said, so Fa, now that you've been married for 5 years, do you finally get to keep your green card? My mom laughed and added, guess you don't have to be on your best behavior anymore, huh? Fa went pale and I was furious. I told him to cut it out, but my dad doubled down and said that they're just joking. But that we can't blame them for wondering how much of this marriage was for love and how much was for a visa. My mom nodded and said that they just want to make sure that I wasn't being taken advantage of. That was that. I stood up and I told them that we weren't staying for dinner, and I walked out with Fa. In the car, she was quiet and then finally asked me if they really think that way of her, which just broke my heart. Now my parents are saying that I embarrassed them in front of other family and overreacted. My brother says that I should have just kept the peace and talked to them later. They're refusing to apologize and claiming that it was just a joke. I don't regret standing up for my wife, but now I'm wondering if maybe I should have just waited until everyone else was gone so that I could call them out on it. Edit to add, I'm 33 years old, and I didn't think to add it, but I wanted to clarify, as some think that there is some huge age gap between us. All right, folks, what do you think?
I mean, I don't think you're the jerk for calling your parents out and doing it in the moment. It needed to be called out in the moment. I do think, though, that it sounds like you haven't stood up to them enough, like, to this point. Like, have you ever told them that she actually makes more money than you? Like, tell this to anonymous Redditors, but you're kind of leave them under the impression that, she's the one who's, like, mooching off of you.
I don't know if that matters. And the reason why is because they should be able to respect her and treat her like a human no matter how much money she's making.
Well, absolutely they should. But why did he even bring his wife around here in the first place if he knows how his parents are?
Well, I mean, it feels like what OP is saying here, and maybe I'm reading too much into this, is that this has just been an escalation, and that this was more than what they're usually what they usually do, because even Fa here was like, is this what they really think about me? So it might just be that this is an escalation because she seemed genuinely upset, and if this was like a pattern of this level of behavior, then I wouldn't think that I think that she would have a little bit of a different reaction. Though
Well,
I don't know.
it may have been an escalation, and it may be that they were doing this in front of other people. But like my concern, and I'm not saying again that OP is the worst person or anything, but it seems like there's been a pattern of behavior that has never been properly addressed.
Yeah, I was thinking that they just took subtle jabs and OP's ignored it. And OP shouldn't have ignored subtle jabs and should have called them out on them. So I do agree on that if there wasn't more said on in those moments. And it seems like OP's, and like family does this weird thing where they're like, oh, you need to keep peace, in the moment here. But there are some things that you just don't keep the peace about.
Right. Like you don't get to insult and belittle people in front of a party and expect not to be called out.
Mm-hmm.
If you get called out and then you feel bad, you should feel bad.
Exactly. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Melodic Medic says, not the jerk, I don't understand how people can make jokes like this and think that it's okay, especially in this political climate. All good jokes contain some truth. And OP replies, yeah, exactly. To be honest, everything that's been going on, we've actually discussed moving back home to Thailand. I already work remote, so it wouldn't be that big of a deal, and I'm sure that she wouldn't have too much trouble finding a job there either. And Sweet Precipitation 5878 says, I totally can imagine my narcissistic family having the same reaction, belittling my partner for no reason other than their own ignorant biases. It must have been so painful for your wife to hear those comments, and standing up for her was the right thing to do. You shouldn't have to endure that kind of disrespect, and I truly believe that if more people had your back like you did for her, the world would be a better place. Do you think that they'll ever come around, or is this a pattern for your family? And OP replies, to be honest, if they haven't come around after 5 years of marriage, I think that they'll never accept it. I could somewhat understand it when we were first in the dating phase, and then they were worried about me, but all these years later, it's just straight up racism at this point. If it's not the gold digger and the green card jokes, then it's something else like all Thais eat bugs, or some other ignorant stereotype. Well, that's not great. Yeah, I mean, I feel like OP should be saying more on these comments if they haven't been. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for not standing up for my pregnant fiance who ate my daughter's cupcake? And we also have an update for this one that I'll read next. Throwaway account, this happened this morning, and I'm so upset I don't know what to do. I'm a 36-year-old male, and I've been with my fiance, a 33-year-old female, for 3 years. And I have a 10-year-old daughter from my previous marriage. Her mother passed away when she was 2.5, and my fiance is currently pregnant. Yesterday, my daughter asked me to buy a giant cupcake from a bakery near my work. She wanted to take it to school to surprise her friend for her birthday. I also bought an extra cupcake for my fiance. She devoured hers right away. My daughter was really excited and put a nice ribbon around the box before leaving it in the fridge to take it to school in the morning. Apparently, my fiance craved for it in the middle of the night and ate the other cupcake. This morning, my daughter woke up to a big disappointing surprise. She started crying and screaming. I asked my fiance why she did that, and she said that her cravings were so bad that she couldn't sleep. Then she yelled, "It's called being pregnant, jerks." My daughter screamed that she hates her and the baby already. I told her I'll buy her another one today and maybe drop it off so that you can give it to your friend after school, and she said don't bother. Later, my fiance texted me saying that she's upset that I didn't stand up for her when my daughter was mean and that my daughter and I owe her an apology. I'm sitting in my car wondering what I need to do. Was I the jerk for not standing up for her? I feel lost. And folks, let's just jump straight into the update. Update, fiance ate my daughter's cupcake. So since I got so many messages, I thought that I would post an update. I did get the cupcake, but my daughter's best friend didn't come to school. I texted her dad to see if it was okay to drop it off at their place, and he said absolutely. My daughter was really happy. On my way back, she apologized for being mean in the morning, and I told her that I understood. She had every right to be heartbroken. Then she asked, "Does your fiance hate me?" I told her no, she's just disappointed in me. But that's grown-up stuff, and it has nothing to do with her. That led to a deeper conversation. She says that she feels like my fiance doesn't like her sometimes. She never asks about her soccer games, and when she tries to share something exciting from school, my fiance tells her to stop being so chatty. I asked her if she was maybe busy or in the middle of something, and my daughter said no. After a few times, she just stopped sharing. I asked if she wanted to stay at my parents' house for the night so that I could have a serious talk with my fiance. And she said yes. My mom and her are very close. So I talked to my fiance, and she said that she's sick of coming in second and that it was just a stupid cupcake. She said that I should have told her that it was for the baby. And I asked, what if our child wanted the cupcake? Would you have given it to her? And she said, a 3 or 4-year-old? Yes, in a heartbeat. A 13 or 14-year-old can get over herself. I asked if she's always resented my daughter. She said, I'll never resent her, but you can't possibly expect me to love her as our own child. I'll love yours like a niece, but my baby is my baby. Then I asked if she had actually called my daughter names when she was trying to talk, and she admitted to call her Yapathon and Little Miss has no mute button, and she thought that this was cute. I told her that I can't marry someone who bullies my child. She lost it, saying that she doesn't even feel safe around my daughter anymore, that she's going to hurt the baby just because she said that she hated us in the morning, and I stood there like a coward. She left for her parents' house and said that she's going to ban me from any appointments, the birth, and even seeing the baby. I'll be talking to a lawyer about what my next steps should be. Added, since many people keep asking about my daughter's mother, my late wife ended our marriage when my daughter was a year and a half. She started an affair with her coworker, she said, due to her postpartum depression, and that she said that she didn't want to be with me. She unfortunately committed suicide eventually. All right, folks, what do you think of this whole situation?
I mean, it's such an unfortunate situation. I feel so bad for the daughter in all of this. I'm really glad that OP wrote this post and was able to get the feedback that he needed. Because unfortunately, it sounds like up to this point, he had been assuming that since his child didn't say things weren't okay, that everything was hunky-dory. And the important thing to remember is that for children, especially young children, they may not always feel like they can come to you when they're having trouble. And that's why it's important to help foster a safe space and explicitly ask them, make clear to them that they are allowed to have negative feelings and express those negative feelings.
Yeah, so I think there's a couple of things here. What do you think of her saying that a 13 or 14-year-old when the daughter is like 10?
I mean, I think she's like extrapolating in the future, like, because when the baby's born, like, well, I mean, when the baby gets to be 3 or 4, the daughter will be 13 or 14, I think was what she was trying to say. But I think her attitude here is really gross and not cool because this cupcake was specifically bought for OP's daughter's friend's birthday.
Yeah, it feels like she ate it more just to kind of like assert her dominance than that she may have actually had a craving for it, but it feels very like intentional.
It does feel intentional. The absolute lack of remorse, because if she had just eaten it like out of a craving and hadn't really thought about the implications, she would have showed some kind of remorse. The way she doubled down was like, but it's for the baby. And also her like, well, I loved your daughter like a niece, but I could never love her as much as our daughter. This relationship is not going to work. You can't have 2 children in a household who are treated differently by a parent.
Yeah.
So it's really unfortunate that OP is now having a baby with her, but better that this relationship ends before the baby is here so that OP's daughter doesn't have to be subjected to that.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear that this woman is a bully, right? She's calling the daughter names, she's making fun of the daughter, she's not taking any interest in it. Like, even a aunt doesn't bully a 10-year-old.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is like, if I'm around like my nieces, like there was one time where one of my nieces, she was like 5 or something, and was like dragging me around. We were at a relative's house and was like dragging me around the house, and like I don't remember what we did exactly, but like playing with jewelry or something like that, and I just went along with it because it was making her happy. And like a good aunt or uncle will actually interact with the child and not just tell them that they're being annoying.
Yeah, and so I just feel like OP has had a rude awakening, and unfortunately their daughter has suffered to some degree on this. I think that it would be a good idea for OP to get their daughter into therapy and maybe even family therapy between him and his daughter, just so that they can start to, digest some of the stuff that's happened here. It's really unfortunate, and because this is an ongoing 3-year-long relationship, so there's a lot of stuff that the ex could have said to her at this point in time.
Yeah.
But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
A riddle today.
Mmm.
A beautiful gem that once was sap. To a
Amber.
To a Jurassic mosquito, I'm a trap. What am I?
I already answered.
I know you did. Yes, it's National Amber Day today. You ruined it.
I'm sorry. Why don't you tell it again, and I'll be super surprised when you do it.
A beautiful gem that once was sap. To a Jurassic mosquito, I am a trap.
This is so strange. I don't have the
What
slightest.
am I?
I don't have the slightest idea what it is. Could it possibly be the asteroid that came down and wreaked havoc upon the dinosaurs themselves?
No, it's Amber.
Oh, that's a good punchline. It's a good punchline, anyways, or good riddle. And I have Earl Grey.
Hey, where's my present? It's National Amber Day.
Your present is not having horrors wreaked upon you by an asteroid.
Oh, okay. Gee, thanks.
You're welcome. It's a vacuum. It's a vacuum cleaner.
Oh no.
Happy National Amber Day. Have a vacuum cleaner. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Fantastic Friday, folks. I hope your Friday is off to a fantastic start. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it on bullies.
Don't bully children. I mean, don't bully anyone, but like especially don't bully children.
Don't bully people in wheelchairs.
Yeah.
Don't bully people who are born in different countries.
Yeah, just these are all really good reasons to not bully someone. Just don't be a bully.
Yeah.
Accept that there are people who are different from you, and that's okay.
Yeah. But thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Later today.
Oh yes, we'll see you later today.
Bye.